What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You guys join me here for an amazing video today. So as you can see, this is a 2009 Audi R8 V8, and I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the owner of this car, Nate, for allowing me to review this car today. If you guys are interested, this car is available for rent in the Washington, D.C. area. I'll go ahead and link all of his contact information on Turo and Facebook in the description box below. But in this video, I just want to give you a full tour and walk around of this gorgeous R8. If you guys are familiar, I've actually done a quick review on an R8. It was a 2010 V10 version, but I didn't really have the opportunity to take as in-depth as a look as I would probably like to on that car. So in this video, I'd like to rectify that and take a look at this beautiful V8 R8. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and kick the video off here. And obviously the R8 needs no further introduction, in my opinion. It is an icon in the supercar world. From its appearances in Iron Man, the Avengers, and just its overall amazing styling, I think that this car has solidified itself as a legend in the automotive space. I think the front end of this car is the best part, honestly. You can see this is one of the first cars to offer LED daytime running lights underneath. They're a little bit of an older style with the dots right there. The flickering is just due to the camera, but it just gives this car such a distinctive front end, and you can see all the coolers and openings for you know, the oil cooler, the radiator, and stuff like that. You do have a small little Quattro badge right there, as well as the blacked out Audi emblem. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front trunk of the R8. There's two ways you can actually open it. There's a button on the inside as well as the button on the key fob. We'll go ahead and use the key and press down on the middle button like so to open it up and go to the latch, which is right under the Audi logo. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of space in there. It does go down pretty far. It's illuminated. You have a 12-volt power outlet. There's also a spot to fill up the windshield washer fluid. I don't think you'll be fitting any golf clubs or anything like that in there, but quite a few weekend bags will definitely fit, and it is very practical for a supercar overall. Also to note on the front end of this car is that there's no protruding front splitter or anything like that, so it makes getting over speed bumps in this car very, very easy, especially because there's no front end lift or anything like that. And as we continue along, this car is finished in Ibis white. I believe it is a beautiful color, especially in the direct sunlight here. Taking a look at the wheels here, I do believe these are the standard R8 wheels, the 19-inch 5 double spoke wheels here. I do believe they have been painted gloss black in the aftermarket here, but they are still beautiful. You can see the red painted brake caliper behind there. I do believe that is factory. It is a 6-piston caliper. You can see those massive slotted rotors behind them as well. Continuing along the side of the car here, I think this is the R8's most distinctive design element here. The carbon fiber side blade is a must on this car. You can see it has a beautiful carbon fiber weave in there. It just glistens in the sunlight, and it is functional. You can see on the bottom portion here is the engine air intake, and I think at this top part here is just a blanked off piece of plastic. A couple other really cool design elements on the side of the car here. You can see the LED turn signals in the mirrors right there, and also the door handle is a little bit hidden in the body right here. You kind of reach your hand under there and pull it as you would with any other car. One other thing worth mentioning as we're looking at the kind of complete profile of the car here is that the R8 is not a very big car. I'm not exactly sure what the wheelbase of it is, but in person it looks actually pretty small. But the amazing part is that the packaging on this car is tremendous. There's a lot of space on the inside, which we'll get to in a second, and it really lends itself to being the daily driver supercar that we all know it to be. The full LED taillights, which was this car was one of the first to offer those as well. The vents underneath the taillights to extract heat from the engine. You can actually see the exhaust kind of peeking out right there. We'll talk about the exhaust in a second on this car. You can see this car also has a carbon fiber rear wing. I do believe this is aftermarket, but it does match the carbon fiber on the side blade very, very well. And also, I think I forgot to mention the roof is wrapped in this matte carbon fiber as well. A couple other notes back here. You can see the quad exhaust pipes. Those are distinctive to the V8 version of the R8. The V10 version has kind of an oval shape back there, and that's one of the very few ways you can actually tell a V10 version of the R8 from the V8 version. But as you can see, the Audi rings are also blacked out. The R8 badge is blacked out. I do believe because of this fixed rear wing that the spoiler that would traditionally go kind of up and down at highway speeds right here loses that functionality, but I think that's okay. In my opinion, the fixed wing looks better on this car. Continuing along the side of the car here, obviously very much of the same, the only difference being the fuel filler cap in aluminum, but it also has the R8 logo, so very cool distinctive touch there. And like I said a couple minutes ago, the overall design of this car looks absolutely amazing. It hasn't aged one bit, in my opinion, and in the short drive that I had to actually bring it here, there were already people giving thumbs up, you know, compliments, everything like that. Let's go ahead and check out the interior of the R8, and before we do so, I'll show you guys the key. Obviously, this is the old school Audi switchblade key, the same key as my A6 Avant from 2006, but still very nice nonetheless, has a nice feel to it. But if you go ahead and find the door handle, like I said, it is a little bit hidden in the bodywork. You pull it just like any other car. Taking a look at the door panel here, you can see it is finished in full leather with a very nice stitching right here. You can see the aluminum door handle. This car is also optioned with the Bang & Olufsen sound system. You also have these very pronounced door pulls right there. And one other thing about this door panel that I like is that it doesn't actually cover the entire kind of door, if you will. There's a lot of paint exposed, and I think that has to do with the design of the side blade. If we go ahead and close the door, you can see it does kind of line up to where that side blade begins. So very neat design quirk of the R8. Along here, you can see the aluminum R8 kick plate right there, and also this car is finished in the full black leather interior. You can see, I do believe that these seats were shared with kind of the TT and stuff like that of the time, but they are still very nice and very supportive. And you have to remember, at the time this car was debuted, the other interiors that it was competing with was like the C6 Corvette and the Porsche 997, and in my opinion, the overall design of this interior is far superior than those cars. Let's go ahead and take a step inside the R8 now. It is pretty low to the ground, so you have to duck your head a little bit here and be mindful of this pillar right here so you don't bump your head. Once you take a look in front of you, you can see the R8 specific gauges, 220 mile an hour speedometer. I think that's a little bit optimistic, but you do have the oil temperature right there, as well as the battery voltage, obviously the coolant temp and the fuel level as well. But let's go ahead and put the car in accessory mode. Like I said, switchblade key. So all you do is just put it in the ignition like so and turn. With the car powered on now, you can see the traditional helper screen in the middle there. It shows a little bit of information. You can see the fuel range, the temperature. If we go ahead and cycle through the various menus using the button at the bottom of the windshield wiper stalk, there's a speedometer, there's a lap timer, there's settings and stuff like that. You can see a very nice flat bottom steering wheel here. You have the kind of plastic cheap feeling paddles, unfortunately, for the R-tronic transmission, which we'll get to in a second, but still a nice feel nonetheless. Here, I love how everything in this interior is kind of driver focused. The whole kind of center console is tilted a little bit towards the driver, so you have a nice view of this infotainment screen. Obviously nothing crazy. This is from, you know, Audis of the period, so you can see all these buttons at the bottom row here: AM, FM radio, navigation, stuff like that. You do have the MMI control wheel at the bottom of the screen here, but there's no CarPlay, no anything like that. I've seen a lot of people swap out these head units in the aftermarket. Underneath the infotainment, you can see these are the controls for the climate. The middle dial is fan speed. You can select, obviously, where the air is distributed. The temperature. This car also has 3-level heated seats, which is different from the 6-level heated seats and other Audis of the time, so a little bit simpler there. This is the control for the R-tronic 6-speed transmission. We'll get into all that in a second here, but as you can see, there's a sport mode button underneath. This is the mag ride adjustable damper button, the traction control, hazards, obviously the retractable spoiler, which I believe doesn't function anymore because of the fixed rear wing, as well as to disable the parking sensors. You have a little bit of storage right here as well, 2 cup holders, obviously a old school parking brake as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the moment everyone's been waiting for. We'll go ahead and fire this thing up. We'll put the car back in accessory mode here and put our foot on the brake like you would with any other car and flick the key to start. So like I said, when we were back here talking about the rear styling of the R8, this car has a very special exhaust system. Like I said, you can see it poking through the cooling vents right there, but it is a full Capristo catback exhaust, and hopefully the mic can pick up the idle on this car, but it sounds absolutely crazy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the engine on the R8. And in order to pop the engine cover, you fold the driver's seat forward, and there's this hidden electronic latch right there. You can go ahead and pull it like so. We'll go ahead and lift up on the engine cover. So if you guys are familiar with the R8, this is the 4.2 liter naturally aspirated V8. In this car, it makes 420 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque. It is direct injected. It has a 6-speed R-tronic transmission, but a 6-speed manual was also available. Obviously, it is all-wheel drive with quattro. And the fuel economy for this car, if you even care, is around 13 city, 18 highway, I believe. It weighs right around 3,600 pounds. 0 to 60 in this car is around 4.5 seconds, and top speed is around 190. There was also one other engine available on the R8. If you guys watch my other video, it is the Lamborghini 5.2 liter V10. In that car, it has around 520 horsepower and around a second quicker 0 to 60 and a 200 mile an hour top speed. But in my opinion, and I know this is controversial, I actually think the R8 was meant for the V8. I think it just suits this car a lot better. I don't know why, but I just think maybe because it launched with this engine first, I think it's totally right for this car. Back here, you can also see the optional carbon fiber for the intake covers and the rest of the engine surround here. It is beautiful. I also think it is backlit back here. You can see there's some LED lights right there that kind of show off this masterpiece of an engine. So just a little attention to detail back here just is absolutely incredible. I love the V8 FSI badges right there as well. These engines are also very reliable. I think they follow the same kind of maintenance schedule as kind of the RS4 or the RS5 with this same engine. You have to do kind of carbon cleaning down there for the intake to make sure that stays nice and clean. Obviously, you need a aftermarket exhaust on this car to open it up, but that's not maintenance related. I think the mag ride on these cars also goes bad after some time. A lot of people just swap in traditional coilovers. But other than that, once you address those items right there, these are pretty stout platform. You obviously want to be mindful if you have the electronic like this car of the clutch life and everything like that. So as you guys heard, this car sounds absolutely incredible. This exhaust does not have any valves or anything like that, so the volume that you heard right there is the loudest that it gets, but I think it sounds really, really good. It's not too obnoxious or anything like that, and there's no drone either from the short drive that I had with this car on the way here either. Back inside the car here, we'll talk a little bit about the selector here for the 6-speed R-tronic transmission. It's a little confusing on how it works, but right now we're in neutral. Obviously, if you want to go ahead and put it into drive, you put your foot on the brake and click the selector over once to the left. You'll have A1 in the cluster. If you want to go into manual mode and use the paddles, you can click it one more time, and as you can see, it shows M1 in the cluster. Or you can also select the gears down here with the plus minus. If you want to go back into neutral, you push it all the way over to the right, and if you want reverse, you click down as well. You'll get a backup camera. So overall, not the easiest design, to be fair, to select gears in this car, but once you kind of do it a few times, it does become a little bit easier. But with that being said, let's go ahead and conclude the video here. So to turn the car off, you want to make sure, obviously, it doesn't roll away. So you put the car into A1, you put it in gear, and then turn the, obviously, the key to shut the car off completely. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the full in-depth review of this beautiful 2009 Audi R8 V8. Just want to give a huge thank you and shout out again to Nate, the owner of this car, for allowing me to review it. Like I said, it is available for rent in the Washington, D.C. area on Turo. So if you guys are interested, like I said, I'll go ahead and put all of his information in the description box below. But if you did enjoy, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.